Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryu Gozrar. I'm just going to be playing a small little game here. These games are not really the videos of the month. This is just kind of a video I've been wanting to make for a while. I'm just going to be kind of covering my, my games on ladder. Just playing a random game here. It's pretty late, it's 3:33 a.m. in the morning, so I'm going to be a little bit quiet here, but I just kind of wanted to describe how I'd play a game, what the thoughts going in my head are, and afterwards we can take a look at the replay and look for mistakes I made. So, we're going to be going for a really macro-focused build, so for that reason I'm not going to be getting my gas at 15, though on this map I would highly recommend that most people do, because going the gas the gas at 16 route on a map like this, where you have a Reaper jump spot here, a huge medevac fly-in zone here, it's pretty hard to hold some early game shenanigans, but I feel very confident in my control and my abilities in TvT, so I'm going to continue sticking with this build. So we're going to send out an SCV scout at 18. It's really important that if you want to climb ladder, you're always scouting, and just for general knowledge, you want to know what your opponent's doing, because having an idea of what you want to do is great, but your opponent may counter you. We can see he actually had a very early scout, so that's actually a scout at about 17, so he's really trying to gather information. We can actually check that. It may be a little bit earlier than 17, but we can check that after game. So we can see he's also sending his SCV to ours, so we can just send one SCV down. Okay. We can take a look at what he's got going on. He's going double, or he went gas first himself. We can tell because we actually just quickly checked our gas and then his gas. So that gives us a clear indication of what he's doing. You can see where his SCV is because our SCV chased and his committed. And we can just quickly take his out. Oops, we want this mule mining. That's actually a really big mistake. We want to drop down our factory and have a marine just come out. So with gas first, you kind of have less options than you would with racks first, but it's okay. So for him to go up here, he does have to commit. So we're going to move our marine here and just kind of make a reactor and wait for him. So our marine's over here waiting for the Reaper, and we can start our second gas. With our build, we just need to anticipate where his Reaper's going to come in from. If he comes in from here, we can retreat to the bunker, because it should be up in time. And then if he comes up here, we can move our Reaper to help our marine out, and we can try to kite with our marine. So we're going to put our guys in gas, start our CC, Reaper in the bunker now, starport, and a Hellion. We're going to have the Hellion go here, and the newest marines go inside of the bunker. This is just so we're safest, and because the marine and Hellion can easily kill a Reaper on their own, but one bunker with one Reaper may not be able to kill his follow-up attack. So we're gonna get a tech lab next, and another gas, and we're gonna keep these units right here as close to the edge as we can manage. And we're going to just drop a depot. Doesn't really matter where. Okay, we're going to have this SCV go back. The factory and the starport are going to switch. This is so we can get a really early Raven. We're going to just have our Marines chill here. All of our units are just going to really rally right there. Okay. We're going to take this SCV here. And we're just going to put a depot in the corner just to spot for any kind of shenanigans he may pull. And we're going to take out our Reaper, and we're going to just try and send it across the map. We can take two of our Marines here. Oh, he actually went for a really early scan. Okay. So that's fine. We're going to make a tank next. We're going to cut Marine production for a tad bit. This Reaper's actually going to go this way, because we wanted to scout the main base rather than using a whole scan. And we're going to start a third CC. And we're just going to take two SCVs and mine out the patch here. Okay, so he actually has the area walled off. You can see he went for a Widow Mine. So the likelihood is he also has a Cyclone somewhere out on the map. But we also know he has a Widow Mine. So when we go for our push, we'll make sure we have one unit kind of just out on the field ahead of the others. So we did get supply block because we forgot a depot, so we can cancel these 2 Marines. Because we have our 3rd CC down, we're going to go for the quick 5 rack style. So that's 2 barracks here. Swap these 2. 2 barracks here. And swap. Okay, we can just send our ship down. Stim. I like to go against another RFE player. I like to go for my Vikings next. So we're going to put our Ravens right here. We're going to start up another gas geyser. That's a 2nd scan there, so we're actually going to take our Hellion and just move it out here. And we can see he's actually going for a really aggressive play. We see he has a lot of Vikings, so we know it's for sure a 2 base all-in. He actually cut a Raven for him to afford that. So we can disable that, quickly kill that, and get our Raven out. Okay. To hold this, we need to repair our siege tanks, and we need to make Vikings of our own. We're going to start all the reactors we can. Send our units there. And we're just going to try and get that out. And we're just going to kind of wait here. We have time. We're just going to wait for our extra Vikings. We can disable some of his stuff here. I want to kill this Liberator if we can. And just pull back our units here. And because he's super greedy with his Vikings, we can just kill it. We got our combat shields now. So, we can take these workers here, have them go over here real quick. Don't want to lose these guys. I'm going to continue making siege tanks. Any extra damage on his Vikings that isn't on ours is good. So we're going to keep rallying our units here. I'm going to repair this. And we are taking a lot of damage on this CC, but it's okay. So we can do now 1 Liberator, because we actually have the Viking air lead. And we're going to drop down our double Ebo, or eBay. Send our units over here. Even though we're still taking damage, it's okay, because we still have the air lead here, so we just need to hold this initial push. We can lift this CC up. And start a couple of depots here. And you can see he made a misplay, so he stim in. That's his force cleaned up. So we can take these units and throw a quick scan down. We know he cut his 3rd base because he was able to afford this many units. So we're going to focus on teching up. We want to try and get a scan into his main base to confirm whether or not he's going mech. So let's stay a little bit passive here. We can throw down 2 sensor towers to be safe. We want to take these 2 gases as well. And we're still just kind of waiting. We should have a scan in just a moment here. Okay. And as you can see, it is mech. So we're going to take some workers down here. And we're actually going to go for 8 Rayx. And we're going to check here. So we didn't take that 3rd base. So we're going to load up these 2 medevacs and kind of just go for a drop now. Our game plan here is to go for a kind of 2-2-ish timing. If we can. And we want to just max it out on 8 racks, and then if we're ahead after that, then we can try to consider going something like like starport tech. But we're just compensating because right now we were behind after the opening stage. So we're going to just try and boost in here and see what we can do with our units. So he committed a lot to a lot of missile turrets. I'm going to take these. We actually stimmed a little too many Marines here. It's okay. So that does suck in the grand scheme of things, but we also know he invested a ton into his main base defense. So what we should do in future is just not really go for those attacks. Now we just need to kind of stay alert, because he could try and go for a big counterattack here, and we need to be careful for that. So actually going to take our army and just try to move out on the map. We also want to kind of cut Marine production from here and just focus primarily on Marauders. We're going to grab our 2-2. Yeah, let's take a scan and see what he's working with here. So he's playing very turtly. But just because he is a turtle doesn't mean he cannot be broken. So we also know he likes to do Hellion Harass. So we can kind of just make little depot walls to protect our mineral line. And we just kind of want to like be out on the map looking for stuff, clearing out rocks. Waiting for our timing, we can throw down a 4th CC. We can try to be a little cutesy. Throw a scan here. We see he's going really heavy on the Viking tech. And he also has a base here. And he's trying to take one here. He also made a full wall here. So breaking into him will be pretty difficult. But not impossible. We're just going to kind of start mining early here. We're going to just throw down a depot here. Try to CC there later. Let's take a look. Okay. Remember, our timing is with 2-2, so we're waiting for these upgrades before we really do anything. It's really important to play patient against mech. So, we broke those rocks.
Yes, sir.
Let's see if we can kind of angle this army to shoot at these rocks without kind of getting in vision range. Sure enough, we can. So you can see he's still got a wide spread of units out here. Tanks on the high ground there. So if we were to come in at an angle right there, we'd be able to inflict a ton of damage. So we're going to move our units out of his scan range. And we're just going to go for it right here. Because we see he is exposed right here. And as such, we can pick up a really nice trade. I'm going to focus the PF. And just leave. And that's a lot of mech units he just lost. And even though we lost a lot of bio units, his units are worth more. We can replace ours very, very easily. So, gonna back up. Continue making Marauders. More starports. And we're gonna start our air weapon upgrades. He's gonna try and retake the CC from here. But by doing that, we can check. Okay, he's still heavily defended there. But we now have 2-2. I know his tank count is now skim in one area. So we can try to PF right here. Just kind of keep expanding around the map. We just kind of want to have more bases controlled than him at some point. Throw down another army.
Energy's too low. That'll cost more minerals than we have. We don't have enough minerals. We've completely mined out
And just kind of chill.
more minerals for that.
Eventually we want to see what's going on over here.
Command center has been upgraded.
Let's take a look.
Command
He's got quite a lot of tanks and Vikings here, so that would be a very hard position to break. However, we could possibly break here, or we could try to drop into here. In this situation, I think the best move is to try and break that top area, or the bottom area we're actually headed towards. Just want to kill the PF, and then we can back off here. You can see it's forced him out of position now here. So, we can move around again, and just kind of look for a new angle. It's okay if one doesn't work out, we just kind of want to continue building a bank, so we can throw down more starports. We're just gonna start grouping our units here. We're gonna just check to see if he's taken this base, and we can take this group of units here and send it to the southern side. Once you go in too far off.
Energy's too low.
This moment in time, I'm just thinking about the late game. So, we're gonna need a fusion core for lib range. In the meantime, we can start medevac speed. Reactor, reactor.
Nothing left in that mineral cluster.
Take a look-see here.
Not enough. An upgrade is ready for use.
There's a little hole right here, so we can just kind of have our units poke in and hit shit. Oh, it's kind of trying to bait us out here, so we can just have our units hold right here. And just have little packs of units out on the map. So he's going to try and expand this way, so we just kind of want to chill and build up our air camp. He's also going to be trying to go for Thors, which is going to be really hard for him to also make work. So another thing we can do, we can scan right here.
Mineral field depleted.
And we can try to boost past these missile turrets, but as we remember, there's quite a lot of them. So that's probably not the move.
Nuclear launch detected.
Oh, there's a nuke, so we're going to look. Not here, not here.
Upgrade is
Right
ready
here.
for use.
So, we're gonna kill his ghost.
Energy's too low. Upgrade complete.
And just kind of continue chilling. More medevacs, more Vikings. And just start dropping missile turrets down.
Can't build there. Upgrade is ready for use.
Have our units kind of poke out here. We see he's sending a ghost this way. So, we're gonna stay on the lookout for that. There it is. We want to actually get vehicle speed here, or sorry, smart servos. So in future we can quickly morph our guys
Command center has been
in the
upgraded.
case that it's needed. And we're going to take the bases over here. Take this over here.
Completely mined out a mineral field.
And start mining over here. We realistically just want to be mining more than he is, which is currently what we are doing. This is going to be a long game, so sit tight, folks. I'm going to get some scan CCs, because that is very useful kind of around the late game. We want to check to see if he has this base here. So we're going to take a single Marine and just kind of stem it forward. Again, we're just holding positions on the map, and we see he has Liberator Siege there. So yes, he has taken that position. But now we can take a look here. We see he has this area here quarantined off, but we see there is a tiny little hole right over here. We can try to kind of abuse. It's going to be a little bit hard to weave through. And we're just going to kind of jump in right here.
We have an incoming nuke to deal with.
Okay,
Exhausted at
there's a
best
nuke again. Right there. See he's on battlecruiser tech. So we're going to continue making Vikings and wait for it to teleport in.
Not enough energy.
Okay. Ghost is neutralized. Back to Vikings. Again, just focusing on them upgrades.
We're done with
At some point, he's going to try and warp his BCs in. When that happens, we want to be ready for it. We're going to throw down more starports, so we can at some point also have BCs. This moment in time, he does know what our unit count is.
base is under
So we're going to kill these ghosts. He's trying to trade out his workers here. And he's eventually going to try and trade out this ground mech army. So that's okay. That means if he loses his army once, it'll be very hard for him to remake it.
Command center has been upgraded.
I'm gonna go ahead and just kill these ghetto missile turret areas. Scan here. You see he's going for some form of a move out.
We don't have enough minerals. That'll cost
And this is kind of where it gets tricky because we're low on minerals and we know he's going for a big siege tank push. So we're gonna need a couple of
a best being done has been tapped out.
things to delay. So we just kind of want to keep him at bay here while we build up our mineral count and trade out our bio slowly. So we can poke and prod areas like here. At some point we will have more air than he does though. Till then, it's just playing the patient game, keeping him on edge. Throw down some sensor towers. Sensor. Can populate more gas. More CCs to mine from.
Nothing left in that mineral cluster.
And really it just comes down to who's more patient this game is ultimately what we're going to be deciding here. We heard a cloak sound,
We've completely mined out a mineral field.
so we know a ghost cloak somewhere near here. I'm gonna continue mining these foreign bases up here.
RSCVs. That's low.
Again, we're looking for the ghost.
We have an incoming nuke to deal with.
Okay. The nuke is.
Attention.
Let's keep checking. Not here, not here.
Nuclear
Oh,
launch
there it is. That one was a little bit hard to spot, but that's okay.
energy's too low.
Okay. Send these units forward into the vision. That's another nuke. Right there. Okay, so he's just trying to take down the CC.
Upgrade complete.
So these ghosts, while they are annoying, aren't really doing nearly enough for him.
Tapped out. Not enough energy.
So we can do missile turret, missile turret, missile turret.
A best being guided.
And we can just start expanding up here.
Mineral field
You
depleted.
can see his ghost moving out there because we're just watching the minimap. And we can move into punish. Remember, we're just focusing on what we can make
We have an incoming
and playing for the late
nuke
game.
left in that mineral
Okay, so
cluster.
there's a nuke coming somewhere right there. So we're gonna move our units away.
Upgrade is ready for use. Our base is under attack.
And we see he's starting to make his move. So, we're gonna siege our libs. Okay, and it's cool if we lose this position. We can send this one BC into his base. And make some bio over here. And we're just gonna kind of buy time. It's okay if he kills shit here, we can remake it. So we're just gonna chill here and wait for a bunch of libs. In the meantime, I'm gonna kind of look for his fusion core and all that. So we can lift this up,
Our base is under attack. Nothing left in that mineral.
send it over here. Remember, we still have mining.
Reporting for action.
We can use our air dominance to kind of peel away at this and focus on remaxing on battle cruisers.
Reporting for action. Need something. Our hitting our under attack. That's low. We standing by. Incoming orders. Clear the landing zone first. Yes, sir. Our base is under attack.
So it's gonna look a little bit ghetto here for a while, but not to worry. It's gonna go for this move next.
Our base is under attack.
Can you continue to make bio again? We're not losing SCVs. We still had a bank. He will not be replenishing his bank though,
Clear the landing zone first.
because of his previous decisions. So you can see he's trying to remax heavily on more
We're at
units.
maximum supply. We've completely mined out. Clear the landing zone first.
So that one Thor he has is annoying, but that's okay.
Energy's too low. Reporting for action.
Oh, that's the sound of a ghost, so he's trying to nuke again.
To battle stations. Mineral field detected. Nuclear launch detected. Command center has been upgraded. Not enough Vespers. We're hitting
Again,
our
watch the minimap when you're playing this phase of the game.
Our base is under attack. Nuclear launch detected.
Nuclear launch, so the nuke is placed right here.
We have an incoming nuke to deal with. That's
More
gonna require
BCs.
More gas.
More gas.
Energy's too low.
Fine. We can still make bio. That's the important thing to remember here. Okay, so there was an attack ping here. There's likely a ghost right here. So, scan. At this point, he's actually just hemorrhaging resources on these nukes and ghosts. So we can start to make marauders, and at some point, he's not going to have the same type of bank he used to, because he's forced to make SCVs again here, just due to his previous choices. So we can go ahead and make a CC here. Actually, I want to make the CC here.
We have an incoming nuke to deal with.
So, another nuke. It's not here. So, is it here? Nope. Is it here? Nope.
Nuclear launch detected.
Is it here? Yes.
What's going on? Yes, Commander. Ah! You scared me!
We have an incoming nuke to deal with.
So, ghost is right there.
It's your time. In the rear with the gear. Go ahead. This better be good. Huh? Big job.
Like I said, he's just kind of wasting money on this. We're fine. We're building our bank still. Can mule a little bit more.
Nothing left in
He
that
actually dropped a nuke there at some point. So, suffice to say, it's not a total waste.
Energy's too low.
We want to keep making battle cruisers though here. So his goal here is to just kind of max out on a better army. So we're going to take these units here. We're going to take our bio army here.
We've completely mined out a mineral field.
We're going to check down here and say, our opponent seems to be going here. See his ghost.
This better be good. Gangway.
And kill that real quick.
Base is under attack.
So he's just training out units right there. He's got an open spot right there.
That's low. Somebody, get me out of this mess.
So he's vulnerable right here, and this is one of his mining bases. So I'm just going to go in. Quickly kill the PF.
Mineral field depleted.
Don't want to fly too close to that.
Attention. Command center has been upgraded.
Ooh, there's some big Winnowmine mine hits right there.
That's gonna require more gas. Our base is under attack.
So we're a little short on gas, that's okay.
Not enough energy. Somebody, get me out of this mess.
Because we can go here, and we're doing economic damage. Mech can't be everywhere at once, so even though he's going to be killing our bases there, we honestly could just go over here, and we see he's... Throw to mine. So while he's trying to base race us, we can honestly just lift this shit up, fly it away, and kill his production. And we can just kind of AFK with that there. Our libs can just kind of be ready and sieged here. Still losing stuff on this side. At this point, he no longer has air vision. We have an extra CC, we can move over here. We can continue to mine here. Continue killing factories. We actually want to mine more gas here. I know, story of our lives in this game. So we can land you, you, and you. You're likely gonna die, unfortunately. But as you can see, he's gonna have to spend gas on every single one of his units, whereas we can just kind of do whatever we want. So now the next thing we can do is we can take all of these Vikings, and because this is an orbital, we're gonna just fly in and land. We're gonna go about here. This is a ton of minerals gone. This is actually his entire mineral bank right here. And that's it. That's game. That was a long one. Holy hell. 32 minutes. I hope my commentary wasn't boring. That's how I would play against Mech. You can see, because he traded out his workers, he stopped mining, and even though we're low on gas, we overall still had more because we were just mining more of the map. We never had to really dive in and try and break his position too many times, just because, you know, it's just the way the game is. You can find openings. The larger your opponent gets, the more vulnerable they are. Like even me, I was vulnerable here and here to nukes. I took some damage here, I lost the CCs here, and even though you're losing ground, you don't always have to kind of YOLO into it, you know? You can really just settle for, you know, chilling back, mining, and building a better army. So let's go ahead and look at some key, moments in the game. Overall, we can take a look at this first cheese. Stuff like this can be really annoying, but the trick is just be patient, you know? Like, losing tanks is bad, which is why we repaired them. We got a little bit sloppy with that later on. You know, like losing this one right here, but it's okay. You really just need to build up your Viking count, because you have the Raven. So you could actually disable some of their Vikings, or even anti-armor it, you know? Or you could, if you really wanted to, disable the siege tanks. But my mistake here was I actually should have just gone for the Vikings, rather than the Liberator. If I had done that, because the Liberator wasn't hitting any tanks, we would have been in a good spot. His mistake, though, was he actually chased with the Vikings, and he lost a couple. Now, because we had a third CC, we actually took our extra SCBs and started mining there, you know, just because it's efficient. The other thing is, you can see we're hemorrhaging a lot of Marines here. Try to have your Marines rallied somewhere where they can't be shot. And don't lose SCBs if you can. We lost a couple just there. We can see that as soon as we start pushing this barracks back, he starts to get way more aggressive. And at this point, we just move all of our workers. We relocate them here. And you can see behind this, we are losing a lot, but it's okay, because even though he's mining from this third base and stuff, it's not the end of the world just yet. He actually made a Thor here. It's hella interesting. And this is his mistake. They always throw at some point when they have their army here. So you can see that actually kind of stabilizes us. It may look like we've lost more, and we actually have, but we're still pretty close in workers. As well, we actually are building the stronger army. Admittedly, though, he does have way better upgrades than us. So, give and take, it's just a different situation. But you can see we're actually ahead in supply. That's just because of the nature of bio units. The thing about TvT is you don't always have to kind of force an engagement. You can realistically just play it out super slow and you know, wait for more opportune times, play the late game. Now we went for this double drop, and as you can see, he invested a shit ton of money here. Realistically, I don't want to use realistically anymore. The best move here actually would have just been to not go for this drop at all, but instead maybe send siege tanks if I wanted to clear that out. Because you can see we got like 6 Marines there. We don't even really kill anything. I mean, I guess it's annoying, but overall, really bad move, and you can see we're really behind. So that was one thing we could have avoided there. We're going to go to the next critical moment in the game, which was, I believe, right here? Was this before or after our push? No, it was before. So you can tell we were waiting for our 2-2. I actually did get a little bit too hasty. And if you noticed, I actually did push just before it, but I'm going to explain why, and I'm going to explain the rationale I had. Also, when you see situations like this, really big scary mech walls, don't fear it because it's static defense, it doesn't move. You can go in at other times. Okay, so let's stop right here, and let's just take a quick look at what we see. In my vision, we see 2 siege tanks, 2 Thors, a bunch of Liberators, and a bunch of Vikings. Now, assuming we move correctly, these Liberators are not at all in position to stop the bio, right? The other thing is we are already maxed and we need to trade our army out. So we go in here, we quickly snipe some units, we make a large concave. This is actually not one of my best concaves, but it was decent enough. We go in, snipe this PF. We actually stimmed a little too much here. There was a tank here and here. And as soon as we get this PF, we just leave. And the reason for that is because we don't want to stick around in these 4 tanks, you know, line of fire. If we did, however, wait for 2-2 or did have a better advantage or better concave, possibly we could go up here, kill these 2 CCs, we're very ahead. But it's okay. We're still ahead in supply, we still have map control, and we're actually ahead on workers. And this allows us to take this base and this base. And that actually puts us at even bases at 5 for 5. Admittedly, he is making more CCs, but he's on 3 factory and 2 starport. His unit production is really slow. This is greedy. We don't have to punish it because he's playing greedy and safe. So we can honestly just play in here, this position, even greedier. Personally, I think in StarCraft 2, the answer to greed is just greedier play. And the other thing is he doesn't have mech attack damage, so when we do go for a push, his siege tanks and Hellions aren't really going to be shredding us, you know? So that was one element. We can fast forward a little bit here to maybe more of the late game stage to here. At this point in the game, we have a maxed out, near maxed army, but we can't really push anywhere. In this situation, the best thing to do, set up your bases here, set your bases up for here, and just have your army out on the map. We don't want him to move out, and we kind of want to deny this base, and we want to know, like, we want him to know that we have threats, you know? If he leaves this way, he can die. Actually, we can quickly look at this. We saw that he goes for ghosts, and he tries to move them out. And this is just a small tactic some mech players do. We can actually look for it and kind of, you know, catch them out. Kill them, and it's just a small little annoyance for them. And he sends another one out, and it dies. You know? This is really annoying for him. Because he needs to kind of try and find damage somewhere. Or try and, like, clear up the map. Because the more area and freedom he has, the better his odds are in winning this game, because he's able to mine more. Which, realistically, I'm going to say this game came down to us just having the larger bank. Because at some point, if you just have bio, even if they're a low mech army, it's sometimes enough to beat your army. So here you can see we needed to be more keen of where the ghosts were. And let's quickly go back. Sorry, I missed that play here. So right here, I want to explain what I saw. We see that his army is here. A lot of his siege tanks covering the main general lands of his base. He has Liberators covering here. And he has a tank line here. We cannot doom drop from this area because he has missile turrets. We can't go above here because he's going to have missile turrets. And here he has a PF and a couple of tanks. We can't go up here because he has missile turrets. So, the least safe spot for him to be, or for us to go, would be right here. However, the safest spot would be here. He only has a couple of tanks, but nothing in this area, right? And the other thing is, there's no missile turrets here. So you can see what we did was we gathered our medevacs here. And you'll always find situations like this if you just play a little bit safe and patient, where you can just kind of come in, drop in here, and this just kind of forces him to show his hand, and it throws his entire game plan off. Even if you don't kill nearly as much as the other player, sometimes just throwing them into calamity is a lot. Also, the other big thing which I wanted to emphasize is pay attention to your nukes and think about it logically. Where are the most likely spots he'll nuke? Our newest bases are this one right here, this one right here, and this one right here. So it makes sense that the 3 most likely bases he'll nuke, well, he kind of tried to go for here, but this one's really greedy, were this one, and this one. So you can kind of single that out if you're ever against nukes. Now next, he has to show his hand of BCs here. And we can see here, we kind of force him to land, and we just kind of kill a CC, some gas geysers. We forced his SCVs to stop building here. This is just really annoying for him. And if you look, our gas bank is actually starting to reach a higher point than his. And even though he does have this maxed army, it's not the army he wants, and he needs to still figure out a way to move out on the map. Because if he does move out, we could still base race this. You can see here, he tries to free up workers. So now it's 40 workers to 61. And I don't like freeing up workers until most of the map is mined, just because if your bank ever goes away, you need to be able to remine that. Even if you have a lot of orbital CCs like he does, it's still not reliable enough. Admittedly, we should have maybe tried for the play here again, and tried to go into the main, or just gone into the main in the first place, but missed opportunity, it's okay. Now again, we're just shifting our units back and forth here. You know, we're scouting over here, killing a depot, killing a turret, generally just doing something, right? I'm wondering if I actually should have done this kind of segment thing in 2 videos. It's going to be a long one for anybody watching. So we can just move our army around, you know, check out stuff, see if he's going to be throwing any ghosts anywhere. We knew he had a ghost somewhere here. And he sent a nuke here and a nuke here. We can clear up more stuff here. He actually did land this nuke and this nuke, but it wasn't really that great. You can see here he's actually down almost half our SCVs, and even though we are still trading worse, it's still good enough because we're ultimately going to have the larger bank. Because right now, we have a similar gas bank to him, but we're starting to produce better units. We actually have more Vikings, and we're starting to get more BCs. On top of that, he's stuck with 25 siege tanks, which at 23 minutes into the game is not useful. As you can see here, he starts to go for his move. So we're going to slow it down here and just describe our thought process. Now this bio army here actually made a mistake. It should have gone up here, but I kind of misused it, but that's okay. And the next thing here is I see his army, and the best thing we want to do is kind of just siege our liberators onto the Thors and just kill his air army, because we know ours is much larger. Now, this push didn't go too great because his Thors were really putting in some work. They did a lot of damage, but we actually still had enough firepower from the libs that it kind of still stalled this, right? So we killed more of his Vikings. He's left with like 8. We have what? Let's take a look here. 28. 8 to 28. So we're up 20 whole Vikings. In this situation, a lot of people would try to land their Vikings. If you look, he literally has to sit here and slowly siege up because we may stim down some bio. In the meantime, all we need to do is just produce a couple Liberators and lose as little as we can. Behind this, we teleported to BC, and, you know, just because it's kind of quirky, kind of funny. I wish we teleported more BCs in, but we actually should have ported that BC maybe somewhere like here or here. Because if you look, he actually has very little money just because his income is really poor. Whereas we're still like floating with a bank, we have a higher army supply and the stronger army. So his Thor here actually did a lot. It's really annoying if you're paying attention to it. But he's doing a lot here. He's trying to attack a lot of places. These tanks are really not worth the money and gold he put into them. I think it's weight in gold, not money in gold. But that's okay. We still kind of get stuff done around the map. We're still, you know, kind of trying to mine as much as we can. We're still securing bases. We did lose this base and this base. We should have remade this one, you know, maybe move the orbitals. But that's still okay. Now next, let's actually go back just one more time. He did go for this move right here, and I felt the best situation here was to fight. And we know he was trying to use a ghost to nuke, but I don't think the ghost was in this army, though I did look for a ghost in this army. So if you look here in this situation, you want to have the bio, which is doing so much. I can't describe how much it's doing. Just focus the Thors. Because once the Thors go down and the tanks go down, your Vikings can land and Vikings shred mechanical. Now we see he's throwing nukes here still. And if we look, it's been 27 minutes. He has not taken a base. His last one was like 7 minutes ago, and it was this base. His money is so low. Now next he tries to go for a nuke here. This is a cute little move. I kind of just walked out of it though. Kind of funny that he went for this. And we're still trying to mine, you know? We don't want to be on less than 40 workers. We kind of want to be somewhere in the 50s to 60s, to be honest. And we just kind of want to retake these bases and build up our gas bank again. Even though we have a way larger army, in TvT, especially against mech, patience is a great virtue. And he actually lands a pretty money nuke right here. That's huge. Oh, this nuke missed, but... yeah, we're just kind of going for value and efficiency here, you know? Like, you don't need to rush anything in TvT. We can start to rebuild a bio army, which, as you can see, we started to actually amass quite a large one. 11 Marauders, 18 Marines, 3 Medevacs. And this kind of allowed us to go up here and take out one of his mining bases. So we're going to fast forward again a little bit. Again, we're just kind of looking to deny his nukes. We're building up our stronger army. He's trying to trade out his minerals. He's doing a very poor job of it. And here, he just goes for this, like, really turtle-style play here. Now, he does go for this engage, and we're going to slow this down. The mistake we made here was pathing and then taking this fight. Because of how many Widow Mines he has, even though it's just a few, it still does a lot, and we actually ate a huge Dorito bomb right there. You can see our Vikings are super low. However, fortunately for us, our opponent still just likes to just chomp on them lib shots. He really just ate them. But behind this, you know, we're already out on his side of the map. We can kill these starports, or we can do what I thought was the better move, which is walk past this, which, by the way, if you're ever against a mech player and they're, like, sieged somewhere here, just send your bio army into their main. They're not going to remax, you know? And clearing out bio with mech units is such a pain in the ass because of how slow they build. Now, behind this, we know we have more Vikings than him, so all we need to do is realize, like, where could he logically siege? He could siege here and hit this, but then we could kill his air superiority. He could try to continue moving forward by going here, so we can have libs that we're making right now, just kind of siege right over this spot. Plus, we have some bio. So, with our combined bio support and air superiority, we'll eventually push this back. And behind this, we're still doing tons of damage into his main. His main base is completely scattered and destroyed, and we're still killing his production. This is super annoying for him. Like, if we look at his structures, he at this point only has 2 starports and a single factory. How is he going to remake an army off of that? You can see he's trying to remake this eBay because he realizes this is his only mining base and his only shot left at the game. Same with this one here. But really, we just kind of chill, you know. We can kill these Widow Mines here. It's pretty funny. I don't know if we got this one. No, we did. Nice. And at this point in the game, I looked and I realized, my opponent's been trading his mech army really heavily and he's been losing all of his production. And over here, he just has a ton of missile turrets. This is where you look at it and you land your Vikings, and you kind of just kill them. You can see here, he just leaves. There's really nothing left for him. He has all the minerals in the world, but because he stopped expanding, he stopped mining gas, and he just sat on tanks for too long and relied too heavily on them. He didn't really have a chance to take map control, and that's kind of why I prefer going the ARAC style. It really gives you that map advantage. And let's say he did swap gas banks with me. We have 7k minerals. Even if he mined out this whole base, and we just mined out this one, we would still eventually be able to make a good enough bio army that we could keep throwing at him and, you know, eventually outtrade him. And that's kind of the neat thing about bio and bio versus mech that I want to hammer right here. The advantage that you have, while it may not be in raw unit strength, it's in affordability and comfort. Mech units take a very long time to build. We're actually going to just slowly go back here. If we look, the Hellion in Hellbat are 21 seconds, same with the Widow Mine. The Cyclone's 32, the Tank is 32, and the Thor is 43. Whereas the Marine is 17, and the Marauder is... No, the Marine's 18, sorry. The Marauder should be, I think, 21? Yeah, I got it. So the Marauder and Marine are 18 and 21. They build really quickly, and they're also really cheap. So when you're playing mech, there's so many things to worry about because your army only scales in large numbers. So you need to be aware of things like, are they going mass Viking? Do I need lots of Vikings? Do I need lots of Thors? Oh, they made a huge bio switch. Now I need tanks. This constant like balance between your units while also keeping them in high number and not losing them and spreading them out in the late game is ultimately the flaw that Mech has to deal with. The benefit, of course, is that they'll win any straight up fight, and then if they do get in position, it's really hard to stop them. But if you're constantly trading with the Mech player in small little micro engagements, constantly forcing them to change their army, you can really easily, you know, just choose whatever you want. You can go between Vikings to Bio. If they're stuck on like mass Vikings especially, and you have a ton of Marines, it's going to be a really easy fight for you. Anyways, that's everything. This is possibly my longest video. This one will not be the build of the month video. I'll still do those, but I just kind of wanted to show you guys game of me playing. It's what time is it? 4:24 a.m. Jeez. If you guys like this, I can try to do the same for a TVP and TVZ, but I really hope you guys enjoyed these videos. Please let me know in the comments other feedbacks and suggestions, and I will be trying out that new format more regarding my build of the month videos. The only difficulty is finding the people to play it with, because I need to find people I can play custom games with. Anyways, thank you everybody for watching. Have a great day. I hope this video helps a lot of you.